Good afternoon, sir. Would you state your full name for the jury?
My name is Christopher Drabek.
And where are you employed?
I work for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
What unit of the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office are you working with?
I am currently assigned as a detective to the gang unit,
How long have you been with the gang unit?
going on 2 years.
And what was your role prior to entering the gang unit?
My assignment prior to the gang unit was a detective in the homicide unit.
What were some of your duties in the homicide unit?
Primarily, we investigated homicide investigations along with other death investigations to include suicides.
Hold on, I hate to interrupt. I'm sorry, if you can whisper a little bit more, I can hear your conversation, so, okay, thank you. Go ahead.
What were some of the things you were assigned to do in the homicide unit?
I investigated murders, and we also responded to suicide deaths, accidental deaths, overdoses, and undetermined death investigations.
Do some of your day-to-day activities or duties change when you actually go to the gang unit?
Yes.
And what is it that you're doing day-to-day in the gang unit?
Within the gang unit, we primarily monitor gangs and groups and persons associated with those gangs and groups. Additionally, we would assist other investigative units to include homicide, the violent crime unit, and other specialized units contained within the agency to provide them with information as it relates to our persons that we monitor within the gangs and groups of Jacksonville.
So you transfer out of the homicide unit, but you actually, in moving to gangs, did not escape the homicide unit. You still work with them day to day.
Yes.
Just in a different capacity?
Correct. In fact, it was a unique circumstance of January last year. I was assigned a homicide that was gang-related despite me not even being in the homicide unit anymore.
And is that a unique perspective as a detective in the homicide unit? Or is everyone in the gang unit, is everyone in the gang unit having had some experience in homicide as well?
No. I think that was actually the first time it had occurred.
So when you were with the gang unit or had just transferred to the gang unit, did you somehow become involved in an investigation that occurred involving the death of Charles Jones in Tampa?
Yes.
When you were in the unit itself, had you been specifically assigned a gang?
Yes.
And what is that gang?
I'm currently assigned two separate gangs. The first one is Rack Chasing Family, and the other one is the 21st Street Gang.
Did you say rack chasing or rat chasing?
Rack, R-A-C-K.
And is that the two gangs that you had been assigned since your time in the gang unit began?
Yes.
Even though you're assigned to two gangs that are, I presume, unrelated to this case, to your knowledge,
Correct.
do you still have to have a generalized knowledge of the activities and going-ons in the other gangs?
It is important for a detective within the gang unit to have some kind of working knowledge as it relates to other gangs, despite them not being assigned those gangs or groups, because each of the 12 detectives within the gang unit are on call for 24 hours every 12 days. So in the event that I'm called out to an event that involves a separate gang, as this incident did, it's important for that detective to be at least have some kind of working knowledge to assist those detectives.
In your time working in homicide and ultimately after you transferred into the gang unit, had you been familiar with a gang called 6 Block?
Yes.
Had you been familiar also with its rivals or ops, 1200 and ATK?
Yes.
Was a part of your duties day to day to monitor the social media accounts, even though they're not a part of your assigned gang, of those two larger gangs?
Yes.
And had you been doing that at the time of June 23rd of 2024?
Yes, and more specifically, I actually had homicide investigations and attempted homicide investigations that involved these groups prior to being assigned to the gang unit, so I was relatively familiar with both of the groups prior to.
Did you have information that Tampa or Hillsborough County had received knowledge of Charles Jones and other 6 Block individuals coming to Tampa that weekend to celebrate his birthday?
Yes, we were monitoring social media detectives within the gang unit and had become aware that Charles Jones was advertising his birthday trip down to Tampa prior to him actually going down there.
When you say advertising, had you seen a flyer that had been posted to Charles Jones's Instagram account
Yes.
with the details of information about his first appearance at the Teasers nightclub?
Correct.
That would have been a week before, 10 days before the actual homicide itself?
I don't remember the exact number of days, but it was around 10 or so days before.
Several days at least.
Yes.
And at that point, when you see the flyer posted, between the date the flyer is posted and the date you get a call from Tampa Police Department, did someone notify the Hillsborough County agencies that Charles Jones and other individuals belonging to 6th Block and potentially ops were coming to Tampa?
I do believe that it was Detective McCullough. It was one of the detectives within the gang unit had reached out to the Tampa Police Department prior to Charles traveling down to Tampa with his friends for the birthday, just to notify them that this was going to occur in their city.
And is Detective McCullough assigned to a specific gang in your unit?
Yes, he is assigned to the 6th Block gang.
Knowing that Mr. Jones was coming to Tampa, had you had an opportunity also to see on the flyer an individual by the name of Robert Howard?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know the nickname of that individual?
Robert Howard's nickname is Kenny Caps.
And was he also posted as appearing at the Teasers nightclub on the same flyer on social media?
Yes.
Had you been monitoring actively on the evening of June 22nd and into June 23rd the social media accounts of Charles Jones?
Yes.
Were you monitoring any other social media accounts at that same time?
Yes, I monitor a tremendous amount of different social media accounts on a daily basis.
Did you have an opportunity to receive a phone call from the Tampa Police Department in the early morning hours of June 23rd of 2024?
Yes, initially my sergeant received the phone call, and then he reaches out to the on-call detective, which was me, and that's when I made contact with the Tampa Police Department.
When you made contact with Tampa Police Department, what information were you able to provide, at least at that time?
I just shared with the Tampa Police Department that we were aware of Charles and his friends traveling down to Tampa in reference to his birthday celebrations prior to.
Had you heard prior to receiving information from your sergeant about Mr. Jones's death on any other kind of platform or media, or was it quickly after the homicide actually occurred that you learned of his death?
The first notice I received was from my sergeant.
And that led you to contacting an individual from the Tampa Police Department?
Correct.
Would that have been Officer DeJesus?
Yes.
Did you speak with Officer DeJesus ultimately about 6th Block as a whole?
Yes.
And did you identify some of the individuals who should have been or may have been present in Tampa?
I believe I referenced at that time Robert Howard just because he was on the flyer. But I did provide cliff notes or some kind of context about 6th Block and the disputes they have online.
Were you also able to provide Detective DeJesus a summary of the events that had occurred on social media in your viewing social media in the weeks leading up to the murder?
I eventually did, yes.
Specifically, I'm asking about a Twitter Spaces video chat that occurred on June 6th of 2024.
I'm familiar with that, yes.
So approximately 2 weeks before this homicide, were you able to record or screen record a Twitter Spaces conversation?
I did, yes.
Who were the participants in the conversation, at least for the portion that you were able to preserve?
The two people predominantly speaking in this screen recording is Charles Jones and another individual named Isaiah Chance.
How were you able to identify the account linked to Isaiah Chance as his account? Were you familiar with that account name?
I had been following it for a period of time, yes.
Were you familiar with Julio Foolio or Charles Jones's account name?
Yes.
At this time, the state seeks to admit State's Exhibit 121.
Any objection?
No objection.
Mr. Sinardi? States 121, any objection?
Spaces chat.
No objection.
Mr. Wise?
Your Honor, I'll be handling this witness, so I have no objection.
Okay, thank you.
Hey,
And-
Judge, I'm sorry, subject to prior
Yes.
objections, prior motions.
Okay, very good. And then, Mr. Petridis?
Yes, subject to prior.
Okay, very good. Good. Admitted?
Publishing 121. Do you recognize the image to the right of this photograph with the exhibit marker of 121 on the bottom of it?
I do.
Is this the screen recording that you were able to capture of the Spaces conversation between Mr. Jones and Defendant Chance?
Yes.
And the photographs that are depicted to the left there, is that just a zoomed version of the profile picture for that Spaces conversation?
Yes.
Now, is Spaces somehow affiliated to Twitter, this social media
It was
account?
formerly Twitter. It changed to X.
Okay. It changed to X, just the letter X.
Correct.
All right. And on that platform, are you able to set up whatever it is that we're looking here on the right?
Yeah, and just to clarify for the jury, for Isaiah Chance's enlarged thumbnail, there's a yellow arrow that points to the right. It should be one thumbnail over pointing to Gutterman. It's currently pointing at Loose Screw, who's James Bush, but it just needs to be one more over, just so they're aware.
That brings up a point. As the conversation is actually playing out, do the little profile pictures, forgive me, this is not my realm, do the profile pictures, little circles with photographs in it, of the speakers move around during this Spaces conversation?
Yeah, there's what I would describe as like an audible feedback. It moves as the speaker's talking, so you know who's actually talking when you hear the voice.
And what caused you to actually preserve this particular conversation, if anything?
Wasn't nothing noteworthy in that moment. I just felt like it was relevant in terms of my gang unit investigation as they were having a verbal dispute.
Had you seen some back and forth prior to that in the weeks or months before this actual conversation takes place with Mr. Chance and Mr. Jones?
Yes, it was recurring.
Publishing 121.
Okay?
Your ass got bigger fish to fry, boy.
Why you acting with this teeth good?
I'm curious about this ain't about that. They don't put they don't put gay on the heads on you all type of shit. If they make you act like you was right,
Everybody putting shit out. Niggas putting shit out their ass, and niggas gonna be around niggas the most motherfuckers just saying all type of crazy ass shit. I'm not even to that dumb ass shit, man.
And I know porn.
Good as fuck, huh? Like, I ain't mad about that shit, cause like the shit ain't true, so why the fuck they be mad about that shit? It's just like the little creep shit, and like the other shit, like, damn, that man creep now? That shit crazy, alright, cool.
You know, you saw this nigga,
Y'all talking
God.
in circles. Y'all talking in circles.
you
Oh, now how you
got
gonna do that?
You said, what?
You had me, daddy.
Go, Julio, why do you think when people fall out, people should be lonely and shit, bro?
He got me a talking. No, he got me. He got me. No, hey, no, hold on real quick. Hey, Kira, what you mean he got me and you? Cause if they don't get them, they gonna cut me.
All right. So if we look at where the mouse is here next to co-host, I think we heard some laughing right before the end there. Did you hear that?
Yes.
You see these little bars to right underneath the mouse. Is that the indicator that you were talking about for someone who's speaking? Is that what pops up when they're speaking?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, throughout the majority of the conversation was their speech or speaking between ESPN 98 here and Gutterman here.
Yes.
And are those the two individuals that were previously described as the accounts that had belonged to Isaiah Chance for Gutterman and ESPN 98 for Charles Jones?
That's correct.
Now, his name here on this Twitter X Spaces is different than what we saw on Instagram as the handle, ESPN_Foolio. Do you have a different name on Twitter than you can have on Instagram, like a different username?
Yeah, it's different social media platforms.
And so on Twitter, or this X Spaces, is his username or handle ESPN_Foolio.
Yes.
And as it relates to Mr. Chance, is his username @G_Gutaze.
Correct.
Now, there were some references inside of that audio itself. When Mr. Chance indicates, is your foot okay, cuz, do you have any knowledge about what Mr. Chance was referencing with that statement?
I believed he was referencing the prior attempted murder of Charles Jones where he's shot in his foot.
Were you familiar with the injury having been sustained from that October 7th shooting of 2023 to Charles Jones's foot?
Yes.
And had Charles Jones also posted on social media from a wheelchair with his foot wrapped up, things like that.
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Sustain.
Have you seen, not necessarily the original injury, but essentially the aftermath from the shooting of October 7th of 2023?
Following the attempted murder of Charles Jones, he did make several music videos and social media posts where he would display his injury to his foot. He was in a wheelchair and had some other medical appliances to his foot because it was so serious.
Did you have any knowledge, at least at that point, what the phrase "you've got bigger fish to fry" related to?
Not necessarily, no.
And when Mr. Chance indicated that creep shit, what does it mean to be a creep in these gang wars back and forth?
Yes. Okay, very good. You may proceed.
If you know, what does calling someone a creep reference?
As it relates to gang slang, when they're talking about doing some creep shit, it typically references a person within a gang or group doing some backdoor, some unloyal things to other people within their same gang or group.
And had you also at the time seen, on the same date of June 6th, 2024, several posts from Mr. Chance's account related to the comment that Mr. Jones makes, "You ain't got no friends right now"?
Yes.
Did you also have an opportunity, once you spoke to Detective DeJesus, to review the social media accounts for Isaiah Chance
Yes.
and Rashad Murphy?
Yes.
And did you also have an opportunity to make a screen recording for an individual by the name of Mizzle?
Yes.
Was Mizzle affiliated or associated with 1200, ATK, or 6 Block?
I know on this evening he was hanging out, or excuse me, on the evening of Charles Jones's birthday, he was posting and hanging out with Charles Jones. However, for the purposes of affiliating him with any group, there's no material to support any of that. I think he was just hanging out with Charles that evening.
So to your knowledge, not necessarily a gang member, but was documented as having been at the Airbnb with Mr. Jones the night before he was killed.
Yes.
And is that social media footage or Instagram posts that you actually saw?
Yes.
And you preserved those posts on Mizzle's account as well?
Correct.
At this time, Your Honor, the state seeks to introduce states 109, 110, and 25A through F.
109, 110, and what was it?
125A through F.
Okay, any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
109, 110, and
125A through F.
Judge only as previously objected to.
Okay, very good. Mr. Sinardi?
Same on behalf of Davion Murphy, Judge, we renew all previous objections to the motion.
Okay. Mr. Wise, same? And Ms. Finkelstein, I apologize. And Mr. Petridis, same? Okay, they'll be admitted.
Now, how specifically did you know to record the accounts of Isaiah Chance, Ghost 187, and at Mizzle?
I didn't know to do this. It's just something that became common practice for me, specifically as it pertained to my experience within the homicide unit and the violent crime unit. I know how quickly digital evidence can be purged or missed, so I often routinely screen record a lot of social media posts just to preserve them.
Would you have had to preserve the information that we're about to view on these 3 exhibits within 24 hours of them having been posted to the stories on the accounts.
Within 24 hours or prior to the user deleting it.
Can you tell the jury what a story is on an Instagram?
A story is a picture, a video, or some kind of media file shared to their social media account. In this case, it's Instagram, and it remains on that social media account for a period of 24 hours.
Is a story on a social media account different than a post?
Yeah, a post will be permanent. The story itself is a timeline within 24 hours or prior to the user deleting it.
Now, if there is a story posted to the account, I'm going to use the mouse again. Can you see that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
If there's a story posted to the account, does it show up here where I'm circling the mouse in the top left of that image in 109, or down here where we see a little bit of a grid?
The first circle thumbnail you referenced up in the top left corner is where the Instagram story would be shared.
And where, if there was a post to the Instagram, would that go?
And the post, it would be the second area you referenced where the square thumbnails are located towards the bottom.
Now, looking at this overall of this profile page, how is it that you're able to determine what the username for this account is?
It would be displayed at the very top of the account where it says Gutazay with 2 G's.
And what is the information underneath the profile photo?
I would describe that as the more so like a display name, and at the top would be the account username.
Is the information that's entered in this particular section here like the descriptor that you could put yourself if it's your account?
Yeah, you can kind of notate some kind of bio in reference to yourself in that area, as well as link some kind of website as well.
And then the description for the G Gutazay account, was there another name that also matched the Spaces username?
Yes, the double G Gutazay.
Publishing states 109. Were you able, at least the time that this screen recording was created, to determine any particular relevance to the homicide of Charles Jones?
Ask that again?
Were you, just based on reviewing this, generally able to determine any kind of relevance to the homicide of Charles Jones?
No.
If you need additional information about posts, stories, the content of an Instagram account such as this, as a law enforcement officer, do you submit a search warrant for a return from Instagram for that information?
Yes.
Looking now to the screen recording that's been admitted as states 110, how were you able to identify Ghost 187 with the underscores as belonging to Rashad Murphy?
I never personally identified this account to Rashad Murphy. However, I was informed and educated by other detectives within the gang unit that this account belonged to Rashad Murphy.
That would have been fellow officers that learned that information in their time in the gang unit from reviewing this account as well.
Yes.
And is it uncommon for new members of the gang unit who enter the unit to speak with other gang detectives or actually review the field incident reports related to the documentation of each person?
That's a common practice, yes.
Publishing States Exhibit 110. Just looking at the screen grab before the video is played, are you able to tell us what the username for this account was?
It's Ghost187 with a multiple number of underscores following the 187.
Now, this particular account also had a descriptor underneath the profile photo where the stories go.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the name that's listed there, or whatever that is that's listed there?
I'm not, no.
Publishing 110. going to pause 110 here at 28 seconds. Can you identify the individual that's depicted in this photograph?
I can, yes.
Who is this individual?
This is a young male named Corbin Johnson.
Now, the same rule applied for when you reviewed these stories. Had it occurred more than 24 hours before you actually reviewed it, you would not have been able to capture that story?
If it, correct, yes.
Yeah, anything older than 24 hours you would not have seen it when you did your screen recording of this Ghost 187 account.
That's correct.
And same thing as far as obtaining a search warrant to determine what earlier posts may have been present.
Correct.
And then lastly, you indicated that you had an opportunity to view the account of Mizzle. Had you seen in Charles Jones's social media posting on the evening of on the early morning hours of the homicide that he was photographed with and doing a story with Mizzle?
I saw that on social media, yes.
Okay. And did Mizzle also repost Charles Jones's post to his own account?
Correct.
So if I went and visited Mizzle's account, I could see a video that Charles Jones took with Mizzle and himself.
Yes.
Tell us how a repost happens.
One user would post it to their account, and then an additional user would go to that post and share it to their account, which could also be referenced as a repost.
So during the time frame that Charles Jones is still at the Airbnb with Mizzle, did you see a video that he had posted to his Instagram stories with himself and Mizzle and putting Mizzle in the caption of that video?
Yes.
Did you ultimately also see a post on Mr. Mizzle's account that indicated that he had reposted that same story?
Correct.
Okay, so the same video basically was on both of their accounts, Charles Jones and Mizzle.
Yes.
And is Mizzle identifiable by a legal name?
His name is Jaquez Taylor. And the purposes of us watching that account that evening or the early morning hours was because he was posting quite a bit in reference to their whereabouts of Charles Jones and his entourage that evening throughout Tampa.
Okay, and so in addition to reposting whatever Charles Jones had posted at the Airbnb, did you also see Mizzle's account posting from, for example, teasers?
Yes.
And were you able to identify where they were by what was happening in the videos?
I wasn't familiar with any of these locations in Tampa. I've never been to these places. However, we were just monitoring where they were posting to or from.
Publishing 125 E through F. Are both images on the left and right of this frame from the story of Mizzle on Instagram?
That's correct.
Is the image on the left, 125E, the repost of Charles Jones or Julio Foolio's story that he put on his account?
Yes, so the original person posting that image you're seeing on the left was Charles Jones to his Julio Foolio account. Mizzle went to Charles's account and shared it to his own page.
So I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. If I followed Charles Jones, I could see this video when he posted it.
Yes,
And if I followed Mizzle, I could see this video when he posted it.
that's accurate.
And if I followed both of them, I would just see that they had both posted the same video.
Yes.
Now, the image on the right of the frame, did this image later become relevant at some point in the investigation, having been posted by Mizzle to his stories?
I later learned that this is one of the clubs that Charles attended. As it
So-
relates to anything else, I'm not sure.
Sure, I mean by way of documenting their movements that evening.
Yes.
Is this one of the images that you were referring to when you said that there had been others other than Charles Jones documenting where they were going?
Correct.
When you viewed the social media accounts, at least for the victim in this particular case, did you only have the time frame like what we're seeing in 125F, the top of the photograph of approximately 16 hours ago, approximately 17 hours ago, the way that the story time frame comes to you?
Yes.
How is it that you get a more specific time frame for an Instagram account post?
To get the accurate timestamp down to the second of a specific post, you would have to obtain a search warrant, send it to the social media application, and obtain the records digitally through whatever account you're requesting.
So the screen recordings or the documentation that we have seen in exhibits 109, 110, and 125, these last three images, and videos, those were taken by you on June 23rd of 2024, just documenting what was being uploaded to social media by these groups.
Yes.
Did you, in the days after, continue working with detectives from different counties, both in Florida and Georgia?
Florida, yes. I believe myself and maybe someone else from my unit spoke to someone in Georgia, but it was very limited.
When is the next time that you were involved in this particular investigation? Do you receive any kind of communication from Gwinnett County regarding a Charmaine Steiger?
I didn't receive that communication from Gwinnett. I was notified about that information through someone from Tampa.
Okay, what was the relevant information that you were provided as a part of your investigation at that point?
As it related to me, I don't believe it was anything significant in that very moment. However, we learned that Tampa had identified a vehicle as it related to the suspects involved in this homicide incident, and that vehicle was contacted and was occupied by a person named Rashad Murphy, and that person had been taken into custody. That's what was shared with us.
At the time that that individual was taken into custody, was there also a cell phone present?
We learned that a cell phone was seized during that interaction.
Did you have information as well, in addition to a silver Chevy Cruze, that there was a black vehicle involved?
They also shared with us a black Chevrolet Impala was also involved with this silver Chevy Cruze, and I believe they were inquiring as to whether or not we would have information who may be operating those vehicles.
Did you have any involvement in the investigation that occurred in Polk County as it related to Sean Gathright's grandmother's address?
No.
And did you have any information regarding a vehicle stop that occurred of a gold 4Runner on the 26th of June, the same day as the vehicle stop in Georgia of Rashad Murphy?
Yes.
What information was developed from the vehicle stop of that gold 4Runner?
The Tampa Police.
Okay, same ruling. Overall, you may proceed.
The Tampa Police Department reached out to us and kept constant communication over the following days after this homicide incident. During one of the communications, they shared with us that the black Chevrolet Impala was taken back to a residence in Polk County, and that person that dropped off the black Chevrolet Impala exchanged that vehicle for a gold Toyota 4Runner, and they believe that vehicle, the gold Toyota 4Runner, to be traveling back to Jacksonville. So they were requesting the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to be on the lookout for that vehicle.
Ultimately, that vehicle is located, is that correct?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, were there items of evidentiary value that were impounded from that vehicle later submitted to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
Yes.
Did that include ballistics evidence?
Yes.
And did you, on the 27th of June, speak with Detective Ramos about developing probable cause for search warrants of certain individuals in Jacksonville?
Yes.
Do you recall which individuals that probable cause had been developed for?
I developed probable cause for a residence that Isaiah Chance lived at, and another detective developed probable cause for the residence that Sean Gathright lived at.
Now, in the event that it was required, did you obtain a co-affiant search warrant with Detective Ramos when needed for the execution of the search warrants that occurred at Sean Gathright's residence and Isaiah Chance's residence?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to actually attend the search warrant executions that occurred?
For Isaiah Chance's house, yes.
Were the warrants for Sean Gathright's residence and Isaiah Chance's residence executed simultaneously?
They were executed at the same exact time.
Why is that?
It was a decision made by our chain of command in reference to safety and evidence preservation.
Did you have an opportunity to document items that were preserved by the crime scene detective Summer Dees at the Isaiah Chance residence?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Did you have an opportunity to view the items that crime scene had documented or impounded at Isaiah Chance's residence?
Yes,
Did you yourself actually do a walkthrough of Isaiah Chance's residence?
I did.
And did you yourself document anything of material value in Isaiah Chance's bedroom?
Yes.
What was it that you documented from the bedroom?
Isaiah Chance had a poster hanging up on one of the walls inside of his bedroom, and on this poster were the words written "bully down," along with several thumb down pictures accompanied with the slogan "bully down."
Did you immediately identify that as being an item which held potential evidentiary value based on your work with the gang unit?
Yes.
Is Bully Gang an associated gang or affiliated gang to any group?
Overall, go ahead.
Is Bully Gang affiliated or associated to any group, to your knowledge?
Yes.
What group is that?
The Bully Gang is affiliated as a subset with the criminal gang 6 Block.
And is there a sign of disrespect that you also commonly see from opposing gangs against Bully Gang?
We would often see the diss commonly used against Bully Gang by opposing gangs, and they would say "bully down," and they would hold their thumb down.
Is the knowledge that you developed in your work with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office the reason that you documented the images or preserved these images that were taken at Mr. Chance's residence?
Yes.
At this time, the state seeks to publish Exhibit 126E and F.
126.
Yes, Your Honor.
Has that been admitted yet?
No, Your Honor. Seeks to admit and publish.
Okay, 126E and F? Is that
Yes,
correct?
Your Honor.
Okay, any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
Subject to prior objections, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Sonardi?
Same for Davion Murphy, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Finkelstein?
Yes, Your Honor. Okay.
And Mr. Petridis? Okay, that'll be admitted.
Publishing states 126E. Can you see the image that is depicted here in states 126E?
Yes.
Does this fairly represent an overall of the bedroom that you entered and identified as Mr. Chance's?
Yes.
And where are we to draw our attention in states 126E?
Top left corner, there's a window with a black shade covering it. Just above that window is the poster I just referenced.
And in states 126F, is this a close-up of that same photograph?
Yes.
And is this the bullied down photograph that you documented from Mr. Chance's bedroom?
Yes.
Did you, in working with the Tampa Police Department, have an opportunity to review the information that came in from the vehicle stop of Charmaine Steiger's vehicle and Mr. Murphy's vehicle in Gwinnett County, specifically the cell site information, the location of where the vehicle was?
I'm not familiar with cell site as it related to specifically the vehicle. I did learn about cell site being obtained from a cellular device.
Correct. The phone that's located, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, maybe I asked that in a poor way. The phone that was located in that vehicle at the time of the vehicle stop was ultimately impounded. Did you learn that information?
Yes.
And in tracking that cellular device, not the vehicle, I apologize, were you able to look at the location of the phone in the days leading up to Charles Jones's murder?
Yes.
And did you learn anything or do any kind of follow-up based on the cell site data that came from that phone?
I did.
What was it that you did?
A canvas for video surveillance.
At what locations specifically, if any?
From what I recall, the majority of the cell site historical location data remains stationary in an apartment complex over off Caravan, which is in the Arlington area of Jacksonville. However, there was one instance on June 21st where that cellular device traveled to a Walmart in the evening hours.
Did you have an opportunity to visit that Walmart?
I traveled to that Walmart and made contact with an associate and requested to view their video surveillance.
Did you have an opportunity to review the video surveillance from the date of June 21st of 2024?
Yes.
And is that the date that the cell site or the cell phone's location information had you look for the device at the Walmart store?
Correct.
Were you able to obtain a copy of the video surveillance footage from Walmart itself,
Yes, ma'am.
as well as a receipt for the transaction that was conducted in the Walmart related to this cell site location and a potential purchase?
Yes.
Can you see a purchase being made in that surveillance video at the counter?
Yes.
At this time, the state seeks to admit exhibits 99 and 100, A through J.
Okay, any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
No objection.
Mr. Zanardi?
No objection.
Mr. Ms. Finkelstein? And Mr. Petridis? Okay, admitted.
Can you see that on your screen, okay, sir?
I can see it, yes.
And is this the start of the video that you had collected, understanding that these may have been stitched together? So I understand you watched a lot of surveillance footage, but stitched together chronologically, is this the video that you recovered from the Walmart?
Yes, ma'am.
Based on the investigation that you had done up to this point and pausing the video at 8 seconds, did you specifically identify anyone in this frame of the Walmart video of relevance to the investigation?
Yes.
And who would that have been?
The gentleman wearing the black jacket, black boots, black pants, black beanie, the black male that's focused on the center of the frame is identified as Rashad Murphy.
As Mr. Murphy comes into the frame on the camera at the front of the store, are you also able to identify Mr. Murphy having been in the possession of some kind of electronic device?
Yes.
is this footage at 2 minutes and 55 seconds of the exterior of that same Walmart?
Yes.
Following the path of travel, if I could direct your attention to the top of the screen, did you follow Mr. Murphy from the interior of the Walmart back out to the exterior of the Walmart?
Correct.
And at the time that this video was recorded and this is being documented, were they already in possession of a relevant vehicle to the investigation?
Appears they're driving a silver Chevrolet Cruze.
Did you provide information regarding the silver Chevy Cruze and Mr. Murphy's appearance from this Walmart video to the detectives back in Tampa?
I provided this to Tampa, yes.
And based on your understanding of this investigation, this video from June 21st of 2024 from the Walmart would have been taken in the late evening hours of the 21st, the day before the defendants traveled down to Tampa.
That's correct.
And where or what city is this Walmart located in?
In Jacksonville, Florida.
Relevant to the search warrant that actually occurred at the Gathright residence, were you provided with some items of evidence to submit to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for testing?
I obtained some items, and they were ultimately submitted to FDLE, yes.
As it relates specifically to this case and investigation, did you obtain a search warrant for a buccal swab for the defendant, Sean Gathright?
Detective Parker authored a search warrant for those buccal swabs, but yes, I did obtain them.
You physically have actually got them.
Yes.
Can you explain for the jury that process after you have a search warrant?
Sure. Buccal swabs, which is just another word of saying mouth swabs. They're 2 cotton swabs. It's an opportunity for a detective or law enforcement officer to execute a search warrant to obtain DNA, and we do that through putting a small cotton swab in the inside of a person's mouth, and they just rotate it a few times, once on the right side and once on the left side. They package it into a sealed, secured envelope, and that is placed into the property room.
Are those swabs also known as known swabs or control swabs for a specific individual?
Yes.
One of those swabs had been collected by yourself of defendant Sean Gathright, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And was there some follow-up with you after the search warrant was actually complete on SeanGathright's home about what was located?
Yes.
At some point, do you learn that there is grip tape or a wrap around one of the firearms?
Yes.
Specifically, which firearm?
I don't recall which one.
Do you recall whether it was a handgun or a rifle?
It was on a rifle.
And was that wrap removed and provided to you to submit for testing with the buccal swab as well?
Yes.
As the individual who submitted those items for testing, would you have received the alert about the specific results that were returned as a result of your submission?
The submitting officer did receive a notification, and I learned of that notification once it was provided.
And you documented the results of that as well and allowed the Tampa Police Department to place a hold on these exhibits then?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time, the state seeks to admit states 140 and 141.
Any objection, Mr. Gonzalez?
No objection.
Mr. Sonardi?
One moment.
I have to get the exhibit list together.
No objection,
It's
Your
from the Anderson. Yeah.
Up. Mr. Petridis, any objection? They'll be admitted.
And sir, it's not you yourself that runs any of the kind of testing for DNA. Is that an analyst with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement who actually does those steps?
Yes.
Now, by July, do you continue to stay involved in the investigation and providing assistance by way of being an assist on another agency detective from Jacksonville for Detective Ramos and the other people in Tampa?
At the request of the detectives within the Tampa Police Department, myself and other detectives within the gang unit continue to assist Tampa at their request.
Ultimately, are you provided information that on July 27th of 2024, arrest warrants were issued for all of the defendants?
Yes, ma'am.
In having received that information as a part of a law enforcement agency, do you also receive those arrest warrants or whatever is necessary to execute those if you can locate the subject of the arrest warrant?
Yes.
Understanding that most of the defendants resided in Jacksonville, did you all then start your attempts to locate the individuals that were the subject of those arrest warrants?
That's correct.
And as it relates to the defendants in this case, when were those arrest warrants executed?
For 3 of the defendants, they were all arrested, I believe, the following day on July 28th.
And which 3 individuals would that have been?
That would have been Isaiah Chance, Sean Gathright, and the female defendant, Alicia Andrews.
Ultimately, is Rashad Murphy also arrested in this case?
Yes.
And on what date did Rashad Murphy's arrest actually occur?
It was a few days later. I believe it was on July 30th.
Were you actually present for the arrest of Miss Andrews, Mr. Gathright, or Mr. Chance?
I wasn't present for their physical arrest, but they were transported to an office that I was located at afterwards.
Based on the nature of the warrant, does the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office send in a specialized unit to execute certain search warrants?
Yes, based off the charges in reference to these arrest warrants, our SWAT team was assigned the apprehension of these individuals.
And the apprehension of the first 3 individuals, Mr. Gathright, Miss Andrews, and Mr. Chance, all occurred the next day.
Correct.
On the 30th of July, Rashad Murphy is also taken into custody. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when is it that do you take him, the day that you take him into custody, excuse me, is that the actual day that you arrived to take Rashad Murphy into custody, or did your attempts to take him into custody go beyond that date?
Our attempts to locate, apprehend Rashad Murphy began the moment we were notified that his arrest warrants were active. However, we weren't able to locate him and arrest him until the 30th, if that's what you're asking.
Yes. My understanding is that on the 30th at 12:06 a.m. he's arrested. I would like to know what occurred leading up to that actual arrest itself, so from the 29th into the 30th.
So we eventually received information on the afternoon hours of July 29th of the location of where Rashad Murphy was. We began conducting surveillance on that location, was able to identify him at that location, which is when we then requested our SWAT team and our U.S. Marshals Task Force to respond and conduct an apprehension of Rashad Murphy at that address.
At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, does the SWAT team begin utilizing some techniques to extract Mr. Murphy from the apartment that he's in?
Yes, they began their apprehension efforts by simply getting on a PA speaker and politely asking him to come out without any resistance.
Did Mr. Murphy come out after the PA announcements to evacuate the apartment?
No, they gave a significant amount of time, which I would describe as several hours of voice announcements, giving Mr. Murphy an opportunity to come out. He did not.
As you roll into the evening hours, does it turn from light outside to dark outside?
Yes.
And are you still attempting to get Mr. Rashad Murphy to come out of that apartment?
They spent a tremendous amount of time trying to get him out, yes.
Do the efforts that SWAT's using actually escalate in some way as something more than giving an announcement over a PA system?
They do escalate their force, their apprehension force, by deploying flashbangs, breaking glass, and deploying gas into the residence that he was located in.
Is this something that over that 7 hours or so progressively gets to be more and more? So PA system is first.
Yes.
At some point, do they point lights into the apartment?
Yes.
And are those specific or specialized lights that are utilized to specifically at that apartment?
They're very bright lights, and it leaves no question as to what unit or residence they're asking the occupants of that to come outside.
Does there come a time that SWAT utilizes a machine to break the windows of the apartment?
They have a lot of different machines and equipment that they utilize to safely apprehend people, yes.
In this instance, was the unit on the ground floor or on the second floor?
A combination of both.
And did
Or,
you?
I apologize, the unit that was in question in reference to where Rashad Murphy was on the second floor.
Were you also present after, now the windows are essentially opened, are there devices utilized called flashbangs?
Yes.
Can you describe for the jury what those are?
It's just a handheld device that, when deployed, is very loud. It gives off a very strong percussion, especially inside of a residence, and it disorients the person that is affected by it.
Up to this point, has Rashad Murphy exited the residence?
No.
Does the SWAT unit start to deploy something called gas?
Yes.
And can you describe what that is for the jury?
It's what it sounds like. It's just gas that's unbearable to experience. It affects your eyes and all of your senses. You can't take it without any kind of protective gear on.
Does it come as something else that you can throw through the window into the apartment?
You could, but I know in this specific instance, they physically broke the window and then deployed it with another mechanism.
These devices that are utilized to attempt to remove Mr. Murphy or have him come out, were they actually executed several times?
Yes.
Ultimately, at 12:06 a.m. on July 30th, does Mr. Murphy exit the residence where you all had SWAT outside?
He does eventually.
And is he taken into custody, at that time?
Yes.
This would have been an arrest that was separate and apart from what we've already learned about in Gwinnett County. You had nothing to do with that, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And so we've received in evidence, I think, maybe an arrest sheet where he was arrested in Gwinnett County for, I think Mr. Gonzalez said, resisting arrest or something. He would have been released from custody at the time, a month later, that you all go to this apartment to take him back into custody?
Yes.
Okay, so these are two separate events, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is probably a good place to break for the evening, so it's 5:06, so